Okay guys, if you're still struggling to beat this fixed mutation railroad switch, because it's pretty hard, I see a lot of people struggle, like having 30-40 attempts and not being able to beat it, so there will be some tips in this video. I know that I come with this a little bit late, because not much time left, but still, if you're gonna watch it like in the space of a few hours after it's published, you'll still have a day or a little bit more than a day to beat it. So few tips for you. First of all, let's we have Arcturus Mengsk. Now Mengsk is an only commander that made it into S tier, the highest tier in CTG's commander tier list for this week's mutation. He does these tiers every week. You can check it in on his channel. So Styxbender and 2-2 suggested Mengsk for S tiers, that he is the best commander for this week because of his Earth Splitters. And now CTG kind of agreed with them, and I was like watching this video, I was like, okay, yeah, probably, but yeah, this was because we played together and had a really good game. And I realized later that actually Mengsk can have a really big troubles early game, so you need like a perfect start or a nearly perfect start at least to be able to get to the mid game, and then mid to late game and have a lot of splitter established. Then Mengsk is really the best. So first of all, I'm gonna show you this perfect game, how it should look if you want to have a smooth game later. So he was a Toxic Tyrant and I was Architect of War. This is really good pair, and so the first reason why it worked so well is because I was Architect of War, and the second reason was because we had really good, actually probably the best enemy composition we could have gotten. And what Architect of War does, of course, is you have the you have the chrono field, so it helps production and research by increasing it by 15% permanently, and also Earth Splitters can shoot 15% faster all the time because of the chrono field. And of course, when I hit chrono wave, then it's even 5 times faster, so that's really good. Okay, so early cleaning expansions, also like Mengsk drops bunker, Karax can use solar, so we had our bases. He already has saturated. I'm not but okay. When enemies now come, this is how this looks like. Okay, so you can see that we got roaches. If it was Zergling, they would do more damage. I think I would lose the monolith, and also like vulture or 7 zealots will be worse than roaches. So have like 6 roaches. That's perfect for my. I have a lot of energy. Yeah, so I can orbital strike them. Ally has the bunkers. Bunkers get repaired. Everything actually gets repaired by repair beams. So this is really good. And the thing is, he didn't lose anything. Okay, he did upgrade one dude into completely perfectly. He wouldn't have spent any money for upgrading this thing. But like it is now, he has comfortable situation here. He can build Earth Splitters, no trouble defending. And now when enemies come, okay, I have Chrono, although these things didn't finish. I am activating Chrono now, so you can see that. Okay, now it actually did apply to these things too. So they are all shooting. All these things are now shooting. Yeah, 4 of them are shooting 5 times faster. So when the train is his, he can actually kill it faster. And now when the train is dead, its enemy attack wave is not even near our base yet, so we can set up our defenses. I will build some cannons here, and he can then later get to the build what's it called? Fusion core, sorry. So you know, of course, need barracks, then factory, then starport, then fusion core, because that's how Tech 3 goes, and then get splitting the amplified air waves for the double mandate generation from the Earth splitters and the dudes in Earth splitters, and also it kills the blimp, these guys too. So it also applies to the guys. It says there that indoctrinated. Of course, that was before prestiges, so only indoctrinated by the by the Imperial Witness, but then of course with the prestige, the toxic tyrant also applies to these guys inside. So with double and the generation, when you now it's comfortable situation. This train is starting. He already has 6 building more. I have some monoliths building more, and when you start like this, then late game looks like this.
Main objective destroyed.
So attack wave is coming. Well, it's I think a little bit late, but maybe not. Like you want to start it at point 58 or 59 because waves always spawn at 0 at full minutes, 0 seconds. So now LA hits it, and this wave will actually stay here. They won't, and when the fear wears off, fear effect, they will stay here. So neither he or I have to worry about this wave anymore. And the escort wave also they pause, but then they resume. But you can still hit them, and if you have full ground composition, Earth splitters fight everything, and yeah, even like if they have to fight the units, actually, then he can spam this strike every time, every 10 seconds, because he has enough mana generation. Look at this, so he can actually like spam it in the middle of the fight, and then we just fight units and they don't fight back because they run around scared. And this is like, how many is this? 24 Earth splitters, so this is really good. I also added some energizers. I won't show you this video whole because of course it's on my channel already recorded live and on his too, so you can check it out. But yeah, this was pretty much a perfect game, but you can have a very different start with Mengsk, and that's why I don't consider him the best for this week's mutation, because look at this. Now this time ally is Tychus, and first wave is arriving, and the first wave is actually Zerglings this time, and it was actually air Zerg, so Ally is fighting here. Okay, big mistake is I forgot about these dudes over here. Ally even told me later, but I thought he meant this bunker which already died, so I was confused. I make 3 of these flamers now, because they will kill me if I don't, but now I lose all the other dudes and one of these dudes too, and I lose the bunker, and it's already pretty bad start because now I've wasted like almost 500 minerals for the upgrading of these, because it costs 160 per weapon upgrade, so this is already pretty bad. Now you see I have a lot of gas and not so many minerals. Okay, he saw me salvage bunker. Okay, I was playing a pretty bit tired that game, so I was kinda completely forgot about these dudes. But even it's kind of big mistake. But even without it, like it's first train is mine. I don't have enough earth splitters because I don't have money for them. Even if I salvage those, even if I pull those dudes, well, now I have to fight here, and there is also some mutas here, and the train is the biggest problem because I really don't have enough firepower here. And look at this, these Zerglings are fast, and now before I was able to kill, I've never actually even killed this train. Okay, this, although it has only 4200 HP, but now there are Zerglings here, there are mutas, Zerglings are fast, and my ally is pretty annoyed with me. This was kind of ironic, and now all hell broke loose. Now look at this, how fast these guys die, and he just runs around. I can do nothing with earth splitters, trying to kill the train. I'm failing to do so. Now these guys come destroying my earth splitters, and you see, you can have and he was asking, are you trolling? No, I was not trolling. I was actually trying to survive, and despite best efforts, we didn't get this train, and then for the second train I only had like 2 or 3 of these, and it was utter disaster. So Zeratul, for example, doesn't have these problems, and that's why I consider Zeratul the best. Now for Zeratul, I recommend the Telbrus Legion because of the tanking, despite the no matter which enemy composition, like even if you get air. Um, Yes, I didn't choose yet. I went for scouting, but I think I will choose Stilbris anyways. And you also have to build you go Knowledge Seeker for Vorazun is the best Keeper of Shadows. By the way, Vorazun is the best partner. I will explain why. Vorazun also on her own pretty good for this mutation. The Haka Statman can be also pretty good because the Haka has Glevic for the first train and can have Pack Leader for each, and then you have Impalers. And for Statman also kind of little bit, just a little bit sucks against the trains, like little bit slower damage. But so if ally is also kind of slower, then it's can be problems. But Statman is good for tanking, so and healing. So Statman also pretty good. But I think Nerazim team, the Zeratul plus Vorazon is the best. So you wanna build a cage here because Knowledge Seeker you want to trap artifact. Its origin point is here. It's easily discoverable because you can see these two dark ones, dark squares, and these two lighter ones, and these pattern here. You can pinpoint it here in the middle. So you want to build around to actually trap the artifact. So this is how the cage looks like. It has to be one square thick. If they just buildings touch each other by the corners, it's not enough. You can always try to get the probe inside. If probe cannot get inside, then that means the cage is good, that nothing can escape. Well, that nothing being an artifact, of course, and it will always be here. So you can just blink Zeratul in to pick it out and back out. So now I'm fighting. Okay, we already killed the first wave. I fight with Zeratul, and in the meantime, one Void Templar already killed my rock and is close to finishing my allies because those things do a lot of damage. And also paired with Vorazun, Zeratul becomes super strong because first of all you can see that the increased attack damage, that's the strike from the shadows. All cloaked and borrowed units have 15% increased damage, although it seems that it's even more than like it's plus 9.89, so it's even more. Is it 15%? I think it is. Yeah, I think Tooltip says, but it seems that it is more than that. It's kind of maybe. Is it 15 plus? Oh yeah, it is actually. It is, yeah, 66 plus 9. Around that number. Okay, so that's the first thing. In Zeratul 2 you can see that this plus, that's the first benefit that Vorazun gives passive things. The second thing is the Veil of Shadows, which means that cloaked and borrowed units will cloaked units, because borrowed Zerg units don't have shields, but Zeratul recharges shields very fast, like faster than other Protoss units, and always, not just of combat, which means Zeratul will be able to survive in lava. I already made a video, you can check it, co-op shenanigans and a lot of other things in that video, so you might wanna check it so that's yeah, with Veil of Shadows, that's 5 times increased regeneration. Zeratul has really super fast shield regeneration, and with Templars, of course, they will have just out of combat. But when they are out of combat, when they are recharging, that it will be 5 times faster. Okay, so other thing you have to know that player on the left side will always is a player 1, and first train will always be player 1's first. So if you are in a party, then the party leader is always on the left side. This time I was on solo queue and I was on the right side, so this train is allies first. And The final benefit that actually Vorazun gives to Zeratul is the emergency recall, which means that Zeratul, when he dies, and observers also can be emergency recalled to fight another day. Well, in observer's case, to observe for another day. And the Void Templar with the third fragment found, they get the revival on their own. It's called Back to the Shadows. So when they first die, they will revive at spot, and if they die a second time, they will be emergency recalled by Vorazun, so they can it's unlikely that you will lose anything. And of course DPS of all these allies, Shadow Guard and the Dark Templar and my Void Templar, is pretty high. So now, even though the first train didn't revive, mostly it does, but it did revive, mostly it doesn't, but now you was able to kill it twice, which is with many commanders it's a problem, like for example Arcturus. Okay, which you saw. And now you can see also the fragment. I activate the fragment. I know where it is, but I just need to activate it, and then it's cooldown and it's done. Look at this. Now I can collect it, and that's really good. And now in a few seconds I will have the second Shadow Guard. That's why Keeper of Shadows is good. You can spawn Shadow Guards, then when you activate time stop, they will revive. And yeah, I already have the video about Nerazim Power, but I mean, when you play it live, then you don't get to, you are busy playing, so you don't get to explain all these things. And yeah, so if you are on point with collecting, then you can get up to 8 fragments, and I recommend this setup, Telbrus Legion, first because they're good at tanking and also dealing damage. And you can split, like you're done with one train, and then if you did some stray unit, still you don't have to go back. Telbrus will deal with it, so this is really good. And you with Zeratul and the rest of the army, you can go to fight the other train or the attack wave. And this time the enemy was Shadow Disruption, so only Phoenix is in the air, so I added, now I have just one, I will add one more, so 2 Immortals are enough if it's heavy air or Terran composition, because Terran has Science Vessel that can irradiate you, so that's really annoying. That's actually, irradiate is worse than Polarity for my Void Templar, so and also allies, ally kind of doesn't have much choice, because Stalkers are not so good, not good enough, but Zeratul's Ambushers actually are pretty good, so if this is Terran or a strong air composition, you can go for Ambushers. And okay, Void Suppression Crystal, you can even use Monoliths if your enemy is Zerg, but I think the Void Suppression Crystal is generally better in this mutation. And of course, for the second fragment, you choose Void Blink. And regardless, because of course Void Templar and Ambushers are both blinkers and both deal damage with blinking. And of course, Avatar of Essence. It can be laggy if your ally is like Statman or Zagar, a lot of units, and especially if enemy is Zerg. Avatar is very laggy, but I mean, it's pretty necessary, you need it. So yeah, Avatar of Essence to demote enemies. They also that also changes polarity, and it also buffs your and your allies' units. And and the other thing is, well, what do I want to say? And so Zeratul kind of gives active stuff like to stall and like this. Slows the movement attack speed by 70%, which is pretty big. And Avatar, of course, and Telbrus to tank, while Vorazun gives those passive bonuses I've already stated. And also Vorazun has some active tools like Time Stop and Black Holes. So if you kind of use Time Stop and units are here on the checkpoint, when they are at the checkpoint where they wait for the train, they, even when the time stop is done, they will not proceed with the with these two, I mean with the Nerazin team, you don't even have to do it. You just kill them to get rid of them, and that's actually the best. And yeah, and even the Dark Pylons can help, because even Immortals can then, when they come here, they can regenerate their shields faster. So this is really good, and you can, even if none of the trains actually dies the first time, if every train revives, you can still pretty much comfortably win this game, because Vorazun is a great damage dealer, and the Zeratul even better. You can blink through multiple carriages and kill it very fast. So you can see how this goes. And Ally actually went for Dark Archons. So for Vorazun, I thought of first I was like, okay, why Dark Archons? But they are expensive, but they're good, because if you grab an unit, then you get yourself a unit, and you also deny its 2 lives, because otherwise you have to kill it, and in this case Ally first would have to kill it, and then I would have to kill it, and when grabbing it you nullify all that, and the only bad thing is it costs towards your supply, what is the supply, so if you wanna get more of the Dark Templars or Archons, more supply of your units, you can always send your stolen units to die, of course. Send them somewhere where there's enemies and they will get killed, so and what I was doing here, and I was always using like in most cases like Void Suppression Crystal for the attack waves, and Legion and Avatar for the trains. Okay, I didn't even use it here, I think, because it was not necessary. We did it pretty fast. And for these guys, I don't know if I used it, but for Dark Archons, Confuse is also pretty good, because then you make enemy units attack each other, and of course relieve the pressure of your back, and also like make them deal damage to each other. So that's also pretty good. So I think if you have air enemies, like this time it was dominantly ground composition, but stealing enemy units and confusing them can even be better if you get like carriers or something. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so this is it for this video. So if you still didn't bid it, go Zeratul, and if you have an ally who is willing to play with you, tell him to go Vorazun. If you're solo queue, I mean, you can get like Tychus the Haka, Statman. They can all work pretty well with Zeratul, but Zeratul is for me the best commander for this week's mutation. Okay, this is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you liked it, and yeah, watch my other videos too.